to come into words, because I keep getting this question from this area, that how are awliya kiram able to help? How have they been given authority? That's a question that I want to join in. I mean, to get that from the philosophy of Karbala as well, understand that. So, awliya kiram, I read in the verse that Allah mentioned, "Ala inna awliya la khawfun alayhim wa la hum yahzanun." The friends of Almighty Allah, Allah's friends, they don't have any khawf or huzn. That's a established fact of the Quran, the text of Quran. That says that when somebody is appointed at the level of wilaya, then all the khawf and huzn, fear and all the huzn goes away completely. Now that's for the ordinary wali of Almighty Allah. Somebody who's taken into the level of wilaya, he is completely free of fear of the people, and the huzn is related to somebody else, and fear is related to your own self. So meaning that he is neither worried about himself or neither about any of the people they are related to him, because he is assured from Almighty Allah that everything will be taken care of, and through his barakah everything is taken care of, and so he has no fear whatsoever of the dunya or the hereafter. So khawf or huzn, they don't mean anything for that individual wali. But that's the matter of ordinary wali. In the wilayah there are many darajat. In the awliya kiram, in the friends of Almighty, there are many ranks, from abrar to akhyar, to abdal, to aqtab, to afrad. So these are all the ranks. To aghawas, the ghaus azam. We talk about Sayyid Ghaus Azam for a reason. We call him ghaus because the ghaus is a rank. When Allah Ta'ala's wali are taken to abdal, Hadith Mubarakah mentions that in my ummah, every time there will be 40 abdal. They are called abdal because they have no will power left. They are completely submitted to the will of Almighty Allah, and only the hukm of Almighty Allah changes their position. So that change is called tabdili or badal. So that because the situation changes or gets tabdil because of the hukm of Almighty Allah, that's what they know as abdal. Somebody who changes with the will of Almighty Allah, only them. So they completely, you can say, submit to the will of Almighty Allah, they are abdal. When they are further taken to the next level, then they go to the level of aqtab. Aqtab, every time there are 4 aqtab present, and when we say that these are present, they are there to serve Almighty Allah. For example, there are many angels, with trillions of angels performing the duties of the universe. There is an angel of death appointed by Almighty Allah to take the soul from the body, Sayyidina Israel alayhi salam. Now the question can arise in mind that is Allah not able to take the ruh from the body? Allah has all the power, but why is He appointed a servant to take the ruh from the body? Allah Ta'ala He is Razik Himself. He is appointed Mikail alayhi salam to give you rizq. Mikail is the angel of granting you the rizq and provision. Allah is the Razak Himself. Why would He need to appoint an angel for that purpose? The reason is that He has appointed certain people for service, because His greatness and exaltedness requires Him to have servants in His court. So He's appointed all these servants, Israel alayhi salam, Mikail alayhi salam, Israfil alayhi salam, Jibreel alayhi salam, and all the rest of the servants. In fact, Imam Ghazali mentions that every single thing that you have in this universe, every single thing, I lift this cup, I'm not lifting this up. There's an angel that's appointed to help me lift it up. So every single thing that's happening in this universe is happening because of angels. Upon everything there's an angel appointed. The angel is doing these activities. So every single thing that's happening, somebody, a servant of Almighty Allah, is appointed to that. That's a point to understand. Meaning everything that's happening, a servant of Allah is appointed. So when I lift this bottle and I put water in that, I drink. In doing so, I would seek help from many of the servants of Almighty Allah. Now somebody can say that you're doing shirk here. You're seeking help from the servants of Almighty Allah, but Allah has appointed these servants for me to seek help from. Similarly, every single thing that happens in this dunya, Allah has appointed His servants to perform that. I hope you understand this very deep philosophy behind this. And nobody will give you any better explanation than this. So every single thing that happens with the hukm of Almighty Allah. Allah is the ultimate controller, Allah is the ultimate authority, but He is appointed people so that they can perform these things. Similarly, when people are taken to the level which is most closest to Almighty Allah, then their authority increases. So Abrar and Akhyar are there, they have authorities. When they're taken to the level of Abdal, and because their situation changed by the hukm of Almighty Allah, they only do what Allah asks them to do. So they do so by the orders of Almighty Allah. Then there are Aqtab, they control the matters of the universe because they are appointed on that. So everything happens with their hukm. And this is established through Quran. Sayyidina Khidr alayhi salam, Surah Kahf, Sayyidina Khidr alayhi salam, he is appointed by the Almighty Allah on the matters of dunya, and we learn this from the story of Musa and Khidr. Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam went to meet Sayyidina Khidr alayhi salam, as mentioned in the 16th surah, in the end of last ruku of 15th and first ruku of 16th surah. Read that in detail, inshallah ta'ala. Time is short, I wouldn't go into that detail, but that indicates that certain matters, there are people appointed, the friends of Almighty, they are appointed at that so that they can take care of that. Sayyidina Khidr mentioned that وَمَا فَعَلْتُ وَأَنْ أَمْرِي, that all of these things I have done, I have damaged that ship, and I've killed the son of the parents who there was a fear that he would change their religion later on, and I raised a wall for the 2 orphans. All of that matters. This was a hukm of Almighty Allah, indicating that there are people who are appointed at things which are done by the servants of Almighty Allah. And then when it comes to the istighasa, then that's also hukm of Almighty Allah. Allah mentioned in the Quran, Ya ibtagu layhi wasila. O believers, adopt taqwa, adopt iman and taqwa and piety, and seek wasila in the court of Almighty Allah. So you will never reach the court of Almighty Allah yourself. To seek to reach the court of Almighty Allah, you need the wasila. Wasila means a means of reaching. A means of reaching the court of Almighty Allah. And Allah has appointed many people as wasila, and only through them you can reach the court of Almighty Allah. Please read through Shaykh. And then we see Allah mentioned in the Quran that it is when Allah grants certain people authority, then they can give shifa as well. Take the story of Isa alayhi salam. He says that I have been given certain powers. He mentioned in the Quran that I've been given certain powers by Almighty Allah, that I can give shifa to the leper, somebody who's suffering from leprosy. And I can give the vision to the blinded one. And even I can give life to the dead one. Subhanallah. Meaning Allah Ta'ala says that Isa alayhi salam, through the powers of Almighty Allah, can give life to somebody who's already dead. Say subhanallah louder, please. That's a great proof from the Quran that when Allah grants somebody the power, He can give life to that. And Isa alayhi salam would go and he would kick the grave or the dead body, and you say, Qum bi-idhnillah, stand with the hukm of Almighty Allah, and that person will be alive, subhanAllah. And so this was the power granted to them, and he would he would be granted life, vision to the blinded, and shafa to the leper. So that was a great mu'jiza of Isa alayhi salam. And many other prophets, they had certain mu'jizat. Not to go into detail, the time short, but just to indicate when Allah grants somebody the power, then they get the ability to do things which are not in control of ordinary human beings. So when somebody becomes close servant of Almighty Allah, they have that connection with Almighty Allah, that connection which ordinary people don't have. So that connection that is established with Almighty Allah, through the blessing of that closeness and qurb, we also can seek help from them, because seeking help from individuals is by all means in the line of Sharia. Because when we seek help from the alive people who are living, if that's not shirk, then seeking help from the ones who are in the grave and they are alive there as well, that cannot be shirk as well. Yet even you simply go into grave doesn't mean that you are dead now. When you go to grave, when you're buried, that doesn't mean that person is dead now. Because they remain on the path of Islam, because they remain attached to the Quran and dhikr of Almighty Allah, that dhikr gives them that life that even after the death they remain alive, subhanAllah. Take the example of shuhada. Allah mentioned, "La taqulu liman yuqtalu fi sabilillah amwat." The ones who have been martyred in the way of Almighty Allah, do not call them the dead, because they are alive. Bal ahya'un 'inda rabbihim yurzaqun. They are alive and they are getting fed by their Lord, subhanAllah. So they will take the example of Imam Hussein and all the rest of the shuhada. And Hadith Mubarakah also mentions that a lot of people who even die on the bed, they die by the natural death, they will be raised to the ranks of shuhada because of the patience that they basically practice on the calamities or the difficulties that they go through. They reach the level of shuhada, subhanAllah. So they are shuhada, and we can hope and we can have husn al-zan that all the awliya kiram, they have that level of shuhada and they have that level of shaheed, and they raise that rank that they do not approach death, they do not acquire death in the hereafter. So they remain alive. And especially regarding the Anbiya Kiram, there's a very famous hadith that in Allah haram al-ard an ta'kul ajsad al-anbiya fa nabiyullah hayyun wa yurzaq. There are many narrations, many different wordings, but this is one of them, that Allah's Nabi, it is Allah has made haram for the earth to eat the bodies of the Anbiya Kiram, and Allah's Nabi is in the grave, hayy, meaning alive, and he's getting fed by Almighty Allah. Subhanallah. So if Nabi is alive in the grave, and also when a person who is doing the dhikr of Almighty Allah, he gets that power that all the earth becomes like the palm of the hand. The entire earth becomes like palm of the hand, because when you get sharh-i-sadr, the expansion of the heart, then the entire universe becomes like a palm of the hand. That's also learned by Hadith Mubarakah. Everything can be established from Quran and Hadith, subhanAllah. Hadith of Miraj, he mentioned that Aqasam went to the seventh sky and they saw Israel alayhi salam there. Israel is there and he's got that slate in front of him, and every few moments he extends his hands and takes something out and puts in one bag or the other bag on the side. So Aqasam asked him, what's happening? He said, yes, well, I'm the angel of death. And this slate, I've got all the universe in front of me on the slate. And whenever the death of somebody, the time of the death comes, I simply extend my hand, take the ruh, sitting in that place. He doesn't have to come here, take the ruh from the body. Sitting there, just extends the hand and takes the ruh and puts in either the bag of the Salihin or the bags of non-pious, the kuffar. So this is how he's doing. So he has all the access to all the universe from sitting there. Sitting up there wherever he is. So now, if Israel can have that level of access, then he is servant of Almighty. He's definitely below the rank of Anbiya Kiram. He's definitely below the rank of Anbiya Kiram. So, if Israel can have that access to the universe, then definitely Anbiya Kiram, they have that access. And many Awliya Kiram, when they walk on the footsteps of Anbiya Kiram and do dhikr of Almighty Allah, they are all taken to that level. I mentioned the different ranks of Awliya Kiram. They are all taken to that level that the universe is completely made musakhar for them. They can access universe, setting any location. And all the universes like a palm. Even Imam Sayyid Wasi mentioned in the Al-Qadriyyah or Al-Qadriyyah, which we read every time, which will come to you now, inshallah ta'ala. In this qasida, he mentions at some point that nazartu ila biladillahi jam'an khadat ila hukm ittisali. He says himself that I look at the bilad, all the entire empire of Almighty Allah, like a seed, like a seed on the palm, ala hukm ittisali, just like a mustard seed. You need like a mustard seed on the palm. I can see like to all of the bilad of the earth, subhanAllah. That's because of sharh-i-sadr. Allah gives that when He grants the sharh-i-sadr, that becomes the situation that awliya they can view all the rest of the bilad like this. So that they can then, when they have the authority, they have the access to the universe, they can help you as well. Even after the death, when they depart from the dunya, even then you can go to them, you can say, oh friend of Allah, I need your help in this and that matter. And this is not shirk, because you are just as seeking help from the alive cannot be shirk. Seeking help from a person who's alive in the grave, that cannot be shirk as well. But we have to have this belief that ultimate grantor, ultimate provider and authority that belongs to Almighty Allah, only that this person acts as a means of that.